Hello, everyone. This is Lawrence. I'm in my room here, and I'm about to make a video. Cool. Um, this video, I'm drawing it to the attention of Miss Lady Soul, one of my new vinyl buddies on YouTube, on the vinyl community. I always enjoy your videos. They're really cool, and you show me new stuff. Um, Yesterday she did a response video in which she had to hold up two music books, and she held up um, two Nina Simon and a Billie Holiday biography. Okay, and I actually saw that biography at a bookstore, and I didn't buy it. It was only $3.99. Me being a cheapskate that I am, I didn't buy it, but when I see it again, I'll get it. Um, and so, Billie is one of my all-time favorite vocalists from what I call the classic vocal eras of the 1930s, 40s, and up to mid 50s. The Ella Fitzgeralds, the great jazz vocalists, the Frank Sinatras, the Tony Bennettts, the Nat King Cole, and Dean Martin, Andy Williams, all the great vocalists who did jazz and the great American songbook. Okay, Billie is my favorite, next to Diane Washington. Okay, I like both ladies for different reasons, but Billie, especially in her later years, as her voice got more weathered, um, that's when my favorite period, because earlier, her voice was nice and sweet, but as time went on and through a very harsh life of substance and personal experience, bad relationships, harassment with the law, taking a stand and getting the wrath of the government on you. It's just, she just had a hard life. And when she sings in this period, it seems like she has brings all those troubles and bad times to melts them into the emotions of the song. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. So anyway, the video I want to point out, and I do watch a lot of videos on YouTube at night. I can sit down there and for hours and watch music videos and just be amazed. And I'm not talking about music videos of the 70s, 80s, 90s, rock and roll, pop. I'm talking the historical side of music. Okay. Early jazz, Tin Pan Alley, great American songbook, and big band. There's a really cool one of Benny Goodman and Peggy Lee performing together, and in that video, Benny is really checking a young Peggy Lee out, and of course she was beautiful, all done up in makeup and outfit, and had a nice figure, a nice smile, and that video, Benny is really checking her out. It's almost like it was planned. Maybe I'll post a link to that one. But the video I want to focus on is back to Billie Holiday. Is a December 8th, 1957 CBS studio performance of the song "Fine and Mellow," which she co-wrote, I believe, and since she wasn't a musician, had some help, with formulating it. But this was 1957, and it was included the best jazz musicians, some of the best jazz musicians in the art form at the time. And I'll name off some names in a minute, but I want to talk about not only the music, but the video itself as an art form, a piece of art. And it is. It was shot in black and white. The cool thing is, you know, it's an old clip and it's not really, it doesn't have sharp angles or, you know, edges, okay? Everything's kind of blurred together. It looks a little bit out of focus, okay? And please don't anyone try to digitally clean it up. Just leave it like it is. You could set it so it won't deteriorate anymore, but so it has the little bit of a out of focus blurriness to it. It's in black and white. So it has like a kind of a film noir look to it too, except it's not sharp and clear. Every musician, and Billie, is really in the moment on this video. They are really into it and digging what each other is doing. It's not like one of the musicians had a look on his face, well, this will be over in 3 minutes. I can get a taxi cab and meet some friends, have dinner, and, you know, a dance or something. They are really into it, and they seem like they don't want it to end. Billie's also the camera shot, the way it was edited is perfect. Because as each musician is soloing, the camera will go to Billie, and you could see her reaction, and her facial expressions or price is just amazing, because she has a little bit of a profile, and then she'll, you know, as she's listening to each solo, kind of smile and, you know, bob her head and kind of, you know, like that. One of the musicians is Lester Young. Lester Young and Billie go back a long ways. He played on many of her recordings. I guess they toured. And I don't know if they had a romantic relationship. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. But they had a falling out from, you know, and so this short, brief reunion was the first time they got together in many years. And they didn't talk to each other before the recordings or, you know, after. Apparently, whatever happened was still there. But when Lester comes out and does his solo, as one person noted, it's some of the purest blues you ever want to hear. And when Billie has that look, when the camera goes to Billie and she's you know, facial reacting to the solo, she just has this, yeah, Lester and I, we had it one time, you know, we had some great times. But she's also digging his performance as well. You know, the guy still got it. Gerry Mulligan's on there. He plays the big instrument. I don't know what you call it. Ben Webster. He's the heavy set guy with the mustache. I think he's the first soloist. Then and then Lester Young, and the rest falling through. I had the credits up there, but I had to switch the camera off to look at it. I messed up on, this is the second attempt at this video, because I messed up because I went to the credits, which cut the camera off, so I had to start over again. So on a visual level, as a piece of artwork, this video is artwork. And if you're setting up like a vinyl room or a music room devoted to jazz, you could play this video, freeze any frame, print it out on photographic paper, and you have a nice piece of art to put on the wall. You know, the black and white is cool with you know, the faces coming in against a black background, or the body and face. It's cool. Billie had, like I said, or did I say it? A nice smile. She did. And she shows it many times, you know. So she's digging all the performances, because each player, when they do their solo, they show them doing a solo, and they'll switch the camera to Billie reaction, you know. The beginning of the video, this video, there's like 3 or 4 of this, but only this one, the link I'm providing, has the introduction by Mike Wallace, who went on to become a big person in CBS News, 60 Minutes, and all that. And he does a brief introduction, you know, explaining some aspects of jazz. And he reads off the musicians, and of course, you know, Billie Holiday is one of the finest jazz vocalists. What I always liked about Billie, why she's my favorite, there are jazz vocalists who, yeah, may be technically better, you know, like Sarah Vaughan or Ella Fitzgerald, but Billie can break your heart. She can just leave you in tears. And to me, that is greatness. That's better than technique, you know. She took melancholy and turned it into art. She had all these, you know, horrible life experiences. You know, raised and came into the world in poverty, you know, with a mom who was struggling herself, and probably couldn't give Billie, a child, all the love that a child needs, okay? And so, you know, Billie came into the world, you know, poor, had to struggle, but she discovered along the way she had this talent, and she worked, got discovered, became a legend. But in that lifespan was a hard life of horrible relationships, drug addiction, harassment from the government, because she took a stand she took a stand of the injustice of bigotry on her race. And the government nailed her on drug charges, and she spent time in prison. And like I said, horrible relationships, boyfriends that showed her the drugs and ripped her off and all that. But in the end, she left a legacy that's huge, that will continue, that will never die out, okay? And I think every musical generation should venture back and know who people like Billie Holiday was, okay? Like I said, this video is the best piece of musical video I've ever seen. It's emotional, it's fascinating, it's not bright and cheerful. It's you know, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. One thing to notice too, when each musician do their solo is the other musicians are keeping it going. You know, they're like the water that the solo floats on. So when you listen to solo, also, and I have a feeling you're going to view this video at repeated listenings, but when you the solo comes on, just listen to the music that's in the background, the waves, you know, dun, 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 you know, like that, and then the you know, I'm horrible at trying to imitate these instruments. There's one moment when Ben Webster is playing and Gerry Mulligan looks over him like, yeah, I dig what you're doing. I mean, all these players and Billy, they were all into the moment, okay? So I don't know what else I can say about this video. So right now, you know, after you view my video here, my presentation, I provide a link. Go watch it. Go watch it 5, 6, 8 times. Watch it every once in a while too. It's amazing. And please leave a comment. Please leave a comment. And just so this is good. This isn't just this is a masterpiece. This is like a piece of art, historical art, like the Mona Lisa, the Nighthawk painting. This video is a piece of art on every level. So watch it. Get back with me. Let me know what you think. One thing I did not say, and I should have said this earlier, at this period, 1957, health-wise, financially, Billie was in bad shape, and her voice had weathered through all the years of drug abuse and harsh life. But I enjoyed this period, the later 40s and 50s of Billie's, and that weathered voice. Her early period, her voice was nice and sweet and tonish and all this, but this is the later Billie Holidays. Her voice is just has that gravelly. Yes, I've done this. Her phrasing was incredible, had developed, and she knew how to ride the emotion of the song. And look at her face too, because she's kind of acting with her face as she sings the line, you know, you don't love me, you know, like that. She's feeling it. She's keeping it real. So that's my conclusion. Yeah, I do hope you watch the video and do a response. Lady Soul, yeah, I think you're gonna dig this video. You might have already seen it, but without my observations. Okay, so I want to wish everyone a happy day, and I'm going to cut the camera off and do some gardening. Bye-bye.